revolution will not be televised, and be no rerun, brothers and sisters. The revolution will be live.
What's up, everyone? Thank you very much for being here. My name is Omar, coming at you guys from the west coast of Turtle Island, designated British Columbia by the illegal doctrine of discovery. That's right, my friends. It's all illegal, and we are illegal, and we are happy little citizens over here on this Turtle Island, trying to figure out what the fuck is going on with this world. And what have our ancestors left us? And thankfully, we got guys like John Shaughnessy out there who diligently dig and they research and come up with new theories every other year, I guess, or every other few years. And then we are enlightened a little bit. And, that's what I really enjoy about what I do here at Watchers Talk. I get to talk to many people. And I get to raise my awareness. And this is something that's breaking. And speaking of breaking, there is a stream on my Odyssey channel, 12 minutes long. That is also breaking news. Dr. Nixon broke that. So if you go there, check that out and share that with friends and family. And before you start going for some of those and staying up to date, you will regret it, I tell ya. Hello, Sugar Bee, honey, what is up? Thank you very much for being here. Guys, check out my new studio, just kind of setting it up here right now. You already know that I'm a mega Star Trek fan. Got myself a batleth and got myself the other one right there too, right there. You got to keep your chakras in balance, you know what I'm saying? There's love and light, and then there's time to step up and get the game on, like old Klingons. What is up, Deborah Robbins? Thank you very much for being here. I appreciate you, and I appreciate all of you guys. And this evening, guys, we're not going to be talking about this. Remember the last time we spoke to our buddy John Shaughnessy, we talked about the pyramid gravity force. It is an incredible theory. I've enjoyed it, and I've enjoyed talking about it, and it's been a lot of fun. But now, I guess it's time to move gears, because John has had an epiphany. And he's put a lot of information together, a lot of time into this as well. And he just put out a new book. And that's the new book that we are going to be speaking about tonight, but just very lightly. Because as you guys know, we have our event coming up here this weekend, coming up November 11th, 12th, and 13th, the Magic Box Timelines 3-day online conference. 16 presenters, and there's one more person on here that is not yet added, but I will add them. But John is going to be presenting on Friday, November the 11th. He's got a whole PowerPoint set up, and it's going to be really cool. So today we're just going to really just touch the tip of it and just going to try to understand this new theory so that we got our minds wrapped around it. So when comes Friday, we will understand it to the best that we can. At the moment anyways, because I'm sure there's going to be more information coming out as John progresses on this. Hello, Dots MC. Nice to see you. Thank you very much for being here. Lacey, thank you very much for being here. Deborah, thank you very much for being here. As you guys are aware, this here is my backup channel, Watchers Talk Network, because the other ones, you guys know what's going on over there. So please, give this channel a subscribe, give the video a like, and share this out with friends and family, and encourage them to subscribe to the channel as well, so that we can grow this community over here in case something happens over on the other side. As you guys know, they're trying to cancel me. All right, enough of me, and a big shout out to our viewers on Odyssey. I love you guys. Thank you very much for being here, and I totally appreciate you guys as well. Thank you for putting that platform together. I'm going to be doing a lot more work on there. So let's bring up our buddy John Shaughnessy. He is in Boston, Massachusetts, in the Eastern Standard Time. He is an author, a lecturer, a speaker, an engineer, and friend of the channel, friend of mine, friend of your guys's. We've been working together for a number of years now. And so it's been fun and nice developing relationship. And thank you to Bruce Cunningham for connecting us many years ago. And hopefully he's doing good wherever he's at. So what's up, John? Welcome, my brother.
Hey, thanks for having me, Omar. It's always great to sync up with you, and you got good topics. Always adding to the advancement of the human consciousness, trying to regain our memory, which has been erased significantly over the millennia. So thanks for everybody tuning in. Hello, glad you're here. Hopefully you'll get something out of this hour or whatever we're putting in today, and getting up uploads and downloads, and a lot of people out doing their own research, and a lot of times they hear something that kicks them in the right direction, and they get their section of the basically the ongoing system that we're trying to recapture. Our lost memory. Species with amnesia from Immanuel Velikovsky. He was the one that coined that phrase. Then I think Graham Hancock's popularized it also. So it fits right in there. It's just perfect. So anyways, yeah, we can kick it off. You want me to just jump right into this and
Yeah,
just jump right in.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, John. Is it humanity with amnesia, or is it that our ancestors were just like total potheads, and and they just forgot, right? They just forgot on what happened, and they moved on.
Yeah, well, I think it's what this new book is about is it's about a cataclysm, and from what I'm dialing it in at is it's literally around 6,000 years that we get blown into the Stone Age, and then through these global floods, and then it's like we're crawling back, and then right when we're starting to figure it all out again, the floods come in, and we're back down, and hunter gatherer again, just trying to survive. So and I think it's been going on for a long time, and the ice. By the time we get our technology back, just say we had the flood tomorrow, 99% of us wiped out, we crawl back, and by the time we get to where we are right now, the ice samples are obliterated. You're only getting million year or older ice samples. A lot of the what do you call those things? Fossils. They've been wiped out, so there's very little to go on, and you get things that are just out of time, out of place. They just don't match the where we're at. But this seems to be more and more. The more I've been drilled down into it, it seems to be this might be a real possibility. That's what's going on here. And it's really is disturbing, to say the least. But there's a lot of ancient texts out there that we get into. The floods. These floods, like the Anunnaki, Gilgamesh. Noah.
It goes on and on and on. I just wonder, John.
Mayan floods. Down in all the ancient societies have floods, and it's not a flood. It's multiple. That's the thing that I found. I've been learning is it's not that one flood. No, these are multiple thousands of floods, the same magnitude.
Kind of reminds me of the conversation that we had about Göbekli Tepe. Remember, you were saying that the Earth tilts, and at one time it was in a tilt like the Uranus at like 90-degree angle, and we're using Göbekli Tepe as more like a calendar to see when they were going to swing back, or when they were going to be able to plant their food, kind of deal, right? So that's kind of what I'm catching off with this. But yeah, let's jump into it. You want me to? You want to maximize your screen, and I'll toss the share screen on there, and then we'll just jump right in.
How do I match?
Guys, if you guys got any questions, just toss them down into the comments, and then I'll ask John as they show up while John's doing this.
Will I hit the big square box to maximize, or
no, like your PowerPoint presentation? Remember, you minimized
it. Oh yeah, there we go.
Yeah, bring that up.
It says edit name. Okay, hold on a minute. I got it.
Okay,
Light,
there we go.
light dawns on Marblehead. Here we go.
Yeah, right on. There we go. So I'll go like this. I'll put you here in the bottom corner like this. I'll shut my cam off, and then I'll
All
be
right.
here. And just keep Friday in mind. And then as questions come up, I'll toss them at you. And then if I got something coming in, zoning in, I'll hit you up. Right on, bro. Go for it.
Okay. I don't. Can you see me, or you just seeing the? We're just seeing the PowerPoint, right?
I'm seeing you, and I'm seeing the PowerPoint presentation.
Oh, okay. All right. I didn't know whether we got both of them. All right. Now, this PowerPoint that I'm presenting was actually a PowerPoint that I used this for a video about over a year ago, and it was the source of Noah's flood. So I've changed the flood waters. So the source of God's water for Noah's flood. Basically, I think that was the title of it. Now that video, all right, was removed from YouTube. Somebody went into my account and deleted this video, which is bizarre.
What?
And I just, exactly what?
I was hooked on that one. I was like, what?
Somebody went in and deleted this video, right? So I'm like, what? How the hell did that happen, right?
Yeah, how is that even possible?
I still got the video on my computer, and I still have the date when I uploaded it, when I made this PowerPoint. And so what I've done was I just grabbed the PowerPoint and I've modified it to fit this new theory that I'm working on with the which is part of Noah's flood. So I was already diving into, no pun intended, into God's source of water for Noah's flood is basically below the mantle, the upper mantle. It's in a place called the transition zone, and it can literally the amount of water down there can literally cover the whole planet, like all the landmass. So, anyways, going full circle, another pun, but. So we have this water source on the planet. So I'm thinking to myself, I get all these flood stories. I just named off a bunch of them earlier, and I'm like, well, okay, so I've got this triggered. Okay, well, this is the source of the floods, right? This has to be where this water is coming from, because nobody's asking where this water is coming from. So I jumped in, I threw out a video. Yeah, my YouTube channel got cannibalized after I did the Kennedy assassination series. I don't think the CIA didn't like me naming them as the ones the trigger men for it. So
I hear you.
Anyway,
I had the
they were not
Rockefellers and
Disney. It was about I was doing like a million views, and all of a sudden it went down to 100 views. So anyways, I've been marginalized big time, right? Anyways.
Nothing to see here, folks. Move along now.
Move along.
Move along now.
Even if you type in the exact heading, my video, my name, and everything, I still won't come up, But anyways, they got me buried off into a bad boy corner. I'm playing by myself in the sandbox. I got a timeout for life. Well, anyways, long story short, so I'm always asking the obvious question. Well, where did this water come from? Like if everybody's and nobody's like, well, they hear the rain, the 40 days, 40 nights, and we've grown up with the story 2 by 2. We brought the animals on the ark, and and it's like a Disney story, it really is. I mean, it's like maybe Disney was writing for them back then. I don't know, but you go into the older flood stories with the Anunnaki, Enlil, Enki, those guys. It wasn't there wasn't too much about the animals and all that stuff. So that was an add-on by the Hebrew scholars and they've over the years have confided, saying, we've a lot of the material in the Torah and the Bible was from the Sumerian, the Anunnaki, things of that nature, and Gilgamesh and all the other ancient texts. But anyways, that all being said, so I got into where's the source of water, and I got into Genesis and Revelation. And for me to get into this stuff, something's going on, right? I mean, you start getting into the quoting the Bible and Torah and the ancient texts. It's like, okay, we're getting deep into it. So on your screen, you'll see to your right is the Goo Goo Gaga explanation of it, and to the left is the actual thing. And God made the firmament and divided the waters which were under the firmament from the waters which were above the firmament. And it was so, and God called the firmament heaven. So we have a big, discrepancy of what heaven is, and this, that, and the other thing. But the bottom line is this was at the end of the last flood, okay, of that this particular story was written. So when he split the firmament, the waters receded and the land became visible. The land, the land didn't rise, the water sank. Okay, so we're talking about somehow, and when they throw the word God out there, it's because they don't understand the intense mechanics behind this planet. It's a very complicated planet, and there's I don't pretend to know it all, but I have a little bit of knowledge. I've worked in hydroelectric plants on rivers, 6 to be exact, 6 separate hydroelectric plants that I've managed water with, large volumes of water, and made electricity. So I got an idea of water. I have my my feet wet, no pun intended, in these
Lots of puns going on tonight.
So I get it, right? But I mean, that's a maybe down the road that'll come come in handy when I plug the pyramids into this stuff. But so anyway,
I got a question here for you from Dots MC. Says, do the floods follow any celestial cycles?
I think the external forces of the solar system planets do have an effect gravitationally on this calendar, this clock. And it's 2 worlds on this planet, two worlds. There's a dry world, which we're in right now, and the wet world, which we're going into soon. So, but that all being said, I think the Earth is always being massaged by its gravitational, fields from the larger planets. Jupiter, Saturn, even the inner planets. We're all, even our moon tugs us, and we get tossed around a lot. So, I don't think going out further than that there is any anything else celestial like stars or constellations, a thing of that matter, of that nature. So, I hope I answered that question. So, anyways, we're so we're gonna do. I mean, so there's what I've found out was that the we'll go into a little bit of this. These are the some of the biblical references. Genesis 7:11. The fountains of the great deep broke apart, and the windows of heaven were opened. It began to rain. This happened for 7 days. 7 days of the second month. Noah actually entered the ark 7 days prior to this. So I mean, you get into there's a lot of numbers going on here, and then you get the 40 days of when the waters covered the earth. The highest places at the time of 20 feet. Began the flood stage until the next milestone. Then 150 days. So if you're going to ride this one out, you better have live animals on your ship, because you're gonna go through your stores pretty quickly at 150 days. You're not gonna have much left after a couple of months. I'm a Navy man, and I know you're in constant demand of replenishment and food supply sources. So all these big ships that are out there right now, I'm just making a point that'll come in clearer later on. But all these big ships out there, the navies, the cruise ships, and all those things need massive infrastructure support. So if just say you had this flood come in, covered the planet by just say 150 feet, 140 feet, they're going to be out of fuel and food and within a month. I mean, the nuclear ships will go, but you're not going to be eating, unless you're growing your food on those ships. And it's possible, but you need technology and a lot of the ancient texts, especially the Japanese, is fascinating. They say that a woman came out of a submarine type vehicle and taught them all the knowledge they know today, the arts, the sciences, and everything. So there are remnants of this. It's not make believe, cartoons.
What have to do with like some box?
Yeah,
right? Some box. This lady, she had the guy's head in the box that supposedly came out of the water. It's been a while since I read that, but I think I know what you're talking about, though. Yeah.
Yeah, and then they got Viracocha. The Mayans say he came from the ocean. So I mean, this is what you'll have. Like you'll have these, high technology vehicles that'll survive this deluge, and 90% of them won't, but 10% will. And they will go back onto land and they will, rebuild like they did. Like the ancients have that history. So, but anyways, so I'll just give you a little of that. Okay, now we're looking at how the Earth is put together. It's a multi-layered carrot cake. You get the ocean on top. The ocean's really a thin skin compared to the 8,000 miles.
There's I read an article not that long ago that was saying that there's like 10 times more water underneath the mantle than we have in the oceans.
On the ocean, exactly.
Yeah.
Now you look at the thickness of the transition zone, the blue in this picture here. It's like the third layer down.
Yeah.
And it's blue, right? And you look at how thick that is, and then you look at the skin of the ocean. It's like a thin fingernail compared to this place. So at some point, what I call the water saturation point of the transition zone, where well, let me step back a little bit. The way I've looked at the mechanics here and how this works is, you have the flood, right? When you have a flood, all this water goes up in the atmosphere. You lose the sunlight. You get ushered into a major ice age. You go through the ice age, glacier building, things of that nature, and then you eventually warm up. Once all the water and moisture is out of the atmosphere, the sun can now hit the planet, start heating the planet up again, and all the ice caps and glaciers start to melt, and they go back into the ocean. Now, when these things go back into the ocean, mind you, during the last flood, this transition zone probably went down to half the thickness that it is right now, right? So what happens over a period of time, thousands of years, while this water is, the oceans are getting larger and larger, the pressure at the bottom of the ocean increases because of the girth of the ocean, and more water ends up going down into this transition zone. Okay, so the more water into the transition it gets thicker, bigger, more massive, and then at some point it explodes, and instead of magma coming out of volcanoes, or it'll be geysers coming out of geyser holes, right?
Kind of like what we see over at the Yellowstone.
Yeah, exactly.
Faithful kind of deal. I got people saying that your mic's crackling a little.
Is my mic crackling? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Let me see if I can turn down my volume. How's that better? I'll try to stay away. I won't get that close to it. And then is that?
Yeah, a little better, but it's still kind of there. But all good.
I can let me see if I got another microphone here. Hold on a minute. But anyways, long story. What's that?
I was just saying what's up to Rob.
Oh, yeah. Let me see if I can't get a microphone.
Sure.
In here. It didn't work. Okay, forget that one. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay. I got to get some better equipment. Anyways, hopefully
whatever you did seems to be working.
All right. I might have been touching I got a wire hooked into a speaker, so I might have been touching that. Anyways, long story short, so this transition zone hits a saturation point, which I call the water maximum in the transition zone.
Hmm.
And mind you, it's next to high temperatures. We're talking, thousands and thousands of degrees. 3, 4, 5,000 degrees of temperature, and at some point this thing fractures, and then the water comes up through these geysers, locations around the planet, and when I talk about it breaks through. Here's another picture of the. We'll just go over the pictures again. You can see the transition zone again here, and you see how the water comes down through the subduction zone. So your subduction zone is like, just say where the San Andreas Fault is on California. It goes down. That the specific plate goes down underneath the continent, the United States, and the northern tectonic plate, and then the water goes down with in that subduction zone that geophysicists theorize. And that's what supplies this little layer of water between the lower mantle and the upper mantle, which are both, molten hot magma.
Hmm.
Stones, you know what I mean? So you talk about
What would happen if the water blows out and then the magma fills that in, right? Or if the magma blows out and then the water comes in and all that steam, that would be pretty catastrophic.
Yeah. So yeah, I don't have it all figured out, but it's the it's like so something happens, and this is where you get into the God's divided the firmament, right? So at some point, God, and this is in the Bible too, God takes His hand off of the earth, and the firmament becomes one again, and the floods happen, right? So there's some kind of there's mechanics going on.
Yeah, it kind of sounds like a plug.
Yeah. So anyways, this so it's possible that a large portion of this water rises up through the upper mantle, a big, plume of this stuff, hundreds of miles, thousands of miles, whatever, and it goes up and it just exhausts through these, geyser holes that are all over the planet, right? I mean, you have in Yemen they call the well from hell in Yemen is 300 feet deep. That's in my book. 100 feet wide, and there's that place, and then there's the Rikat structure, the eye of the Sahara, Western Africa. It's that huge, it's like 40 miles in diameter. That could also be a place where the water comes flying out of. So, and then to add even more evidence to this theory that I'm working on, that where the pyramids are and under the Sahara, there is a freshwater ocean that is growing as we speak, right? So we have this massive ocean the size of the Sahara Desert that also goes right up under Giza. Yeah. And then also there's a massive freshwater ocean under the pyramids in China, the Shen pyramids in China. So these are facts, right? And then there's these large freshwater oceans here and there and everywhere, generally around where these pyramids are, like in Central South America. Like I said, China, Egypt, the Sahara. So you have that freshwater supply also. Now I'm thinking that this water, this transition zone might come up and come in contact. And now this stuff is super hot. Obviously, everybody's boiled a pot of water on the stove. Talking about a major increase in pressure, and so the geysers that come out of these holes in the ground is high pressure, high temperature, superheated steam with water. So and then you have this, and they literally can go up as high as 100. Well, I'm theorizing, like if you look at the moon of Europa. I mean, the moon is called Europa, that orbits around Jupiter. That moon has constant erupting water plumes. Right now, the way this moon is made up is the water's on top of the mantle. It doesn't have transition zone where you have magma on top of this water and the upper mantle and the lower mantle and the water in between. With this particular moon, it's like 2,000 miles in diameter. It's not, if it was by itself, it'd be called a planet, but because it's orbiting around Jupiter, it's a moon. So anyway, long story short, this water just sits on top of that hot mantle, right? And then you have these massive eruptions, water eruptions, and they literally go 120 feet, 20 miles, 120 miles high in the atmosphere of Europa and come back down. So there's so that tells you the kind of energy. Now we're 8, 10, 20 times the magnitude of energy stored in our core than this moon Europa. So you can, you're definitely going to get your 100-mile geysers, okay? And you're going to have them in multiple places when this thing goes off, as the evidence shows that I'm putting out in the book, and we're walking through this right now with you. So anyway, and there's kind of a picture right there where you have you have the blues, the water, and you have a fracture in the upper mantle where the water actually comes up above the mantle and finds these holes where it blows out into the atmosphere until it relieves enough water pressure, and then the upper mantle is whole again. The transition zone becomes whole again, and the process starts all over again where the waters recede. They go back down the subduction zone channels back into the transition zone. And this horizon is like a 6,000 year round trip. I think we're literally stuck in the 6,000 year cycle. It could be 13,000, but it's more and more. I mean, if you look at the Jewish year, I believe it's 5,800 years, somewhere around. It might be 5,778 years or 5,870 years. I don't know what it is, but that clock, that year was taken the day that Adam and Eve were created, and the day Adam and Eve created, according to Genesis, was when the floods receded. Right, so we're talking about when the floods receded. Now we're going close to 6,000 years out. Okay, and then so it's possible that's the clock. Like the church, we've only been here for 6,000 years. I mean, I don't know where this 6,000 is coming from, but I mean, it's all it's out there from the the world religions. From what do you call it? The Abrahamic religions, anyway. So I think there might be something to it, and what's going on. And so anyways, that's kind of, I don't want to go anymore. I don't want to get into the pyramids and how they play into it. And, save that for the weekend, the 11th, when I come back on, But for the most part, that's it. This right here, these are blue diamonds, and these are made in the transition zone. And they're
Oh shit!
Uh,
We have those diamonds up here in Canada, up in Northwest Territories, is where they're mining. I believe these diamonds.
Yeah, so those diamond mines are actually ancient hydrothermal vents that come up from the transition zone, right? And when so that might those where those mines are, they very well possibly could be the location of where a geyser came out, a water geyser came out that blew us back into the ice age. So you got De Beers mine down in Africa, South Africa, and I think there's I got another in the book. I show like a bunch of places like you're talking about in North America, Africa, India, all around the world where these diamond mines are, and that's proof that this is where these things were made. And you're only mining like a couple miles down below the surface, or not even, less than a mile, and you're picking diamonds out of these old ancient hydrothermal vents. So like so it's kind of so like I said, it's a smoking gun on what's going on with this thing. So so that's where we're at, and the pyramids are a technology left over from an ancient society that tried to control and minimize the damage on these local areas. So just say your local town had a geyser that went 100 miles in the air, right? Just what happened, you had bad luck. You just happened to, move into the place, right? You're literally going to have 100 to 150 pound blocks of ice falling down on a local area where these geysers are. I mean, they might go 3-4 miles out, like in a radius of 3 or 4 miles, but you literally have these massive chunks. Like, because once you go 100 miles in the sky, I think space is only 150 miles up. So you go, it's freezing cold. You go, 30,000 feet in the air, it's like zero. Okay.
Yeah, I think space is like 8 miles.
Yes.
I think it's like 8 miles.
8 miles.
The surface. Yeah.
All right. So, but anyways, you go that far up, and now what do you call
That would
it?
create like a ring around the Earth as well.
Oh yeah, you're gonna block out sunlight. You're in a real cataclysm. This is the real deal. You're getting blasted right to the stone age.
There may be remnants of that left over, bro. Here, let me bring you up. There might be remnants of that left over. If it's like 8 miles to space, and say you have this geyser that shoots out to like say 120 miles out into space, maybe even further.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Then then that would possibly create like a ring around the Earth, and over time that ring would fall into the Earth. But we have this other moon, right? This other remnant of a moon that's floating around the Earth, and I wonder if that is like the remnants of like maybe the last time something shot up there, got caught up in part of the ring system, and it's just spinning around up there waiting to come back down.
A big block of ice, and finally. Yeah. Well, if it doesn't have the orbital speed, it'll come crashing down to the planet like an icy comet would, or something like that. It's got to have escape velocity, and to stay in orbit. So if it goes up, there's a big block of ice, and then it comes raining back down on you, you're gonna have a bad day. It's gonna be a bad day all around. So, and anybody who's been in the water, man, it is not fun being saturated. I mean, you see the floods down in Florida, the Philippines. It's just a nightmare when you're wiped out by floods. Now, just imagine that everything over your head, and you're not. The storm isn't blowing over, so you can get back to the house. It's gone. So now you're really. I mean, I'm not saying every place on Earth is like completely inundated, but I think a lot of places do get
lower areas, right? Lower, like maybe up in Tibet, you might be okay, right?
Yeah.
Right. So
I'm sure. Yeah, you get the high mountain, but I was talking with a guy earlier today. I was saying the mountains ain't no place to be either because it's cold.
Yeah.
All that moisture's going to come falling down out of the sky, and if it's up in the mountains without any sunlight, you're going to be looking at snow a mile over your head in a very short amount of time, and it's going to be heavy. You're gonna be digging. And then these people that are buying these high-end survival shelters, they're like condominiums they've made out of these MX missile silos. They're gonna be completely entombed in water. They're not, all their air supply systems, everything that's on the ground. They figure. They've got the wrong idea in survival. You're gonna need a bigger boat. You're gonna be a boat.
Need a boat.
You better learn. And I don't even know if you'd be able to fish. There might not be any fish that high up.
Speaking of that, I wonder if there's any like prehistoric kind of fish that would be in that ocean below the mantle, right? Because I wonder, right?
They got those tube, like almost like tube snakes that live with the sulfur vents that are like 5 miles down. You know, I think the deepest part of the ocean, like I
Yeah, I
think the
was gonna
deepest
ask
part
about
of
that.
the ocean, the Mariana Trench. I forget where it is, but it's like it's deeper than the highest mountain. You know, so
That's
it's
the
33,
Mariana
five
Trench.
miles down. Yeah, so
That's
five miles
yeah.
down.
I'm just trying to see if I can bring it up. Marianas Trench off
Yeah,
the west coast of
I think it's in the
um,
Pacific. Yeah, off of
yeah,
east
like
of
New Zealand.
east of Japan, or you know, I
Yeah,
guess
Marianas Trench.
I might just I'm not sure if I get the location right, but that's supposed to be one of the deeper parts of the ocean. So I
And
mean, you know,
also,
it's
um, there's another spot that they discovered
yeah,
that is just as deep, and it's
yeah,
Lake Vostok's, I think,
yeah,
in Antarctica.
yeah,
In Antarctica, it goes. It's just as deep. If they're saying pretty
yeah,
close to being as deep as
yep,
the Marianas Trench, right?
right,
The Marianas Trench is off the coast of Indonesia, right?
Indonesia, yeah, yeah,
Indonesia, and it's
yeah,
200 kilometers east of Mariana Island. It's the
yeah,
deepest oceanic trench on Earth, and
yeah,
it's crescent shaped and measures about 2,550 kilometers in length and 69 kilometers in width.
right, right. So the good thing is, like, you know, I can't do the whole thing. Like, we want to save a little bit for the weekend, but the pyramids tie into this, and it's like the smoking
Mhm.
gun, that there's a technology out there that'll protect the local environments when these geysers take off. Okay, so that ties into it. But yeah, I mean, there's a, you know, a lot of people are you know, the preppers. The preppers ain't going to be, you know, down with this at all. You know.
Mhm. Yes, they got
Well,
a boat.
they're okay. I mean, you just go get a boat. You know.
Yeah.
But I don't even, be honest with you, I don't even, you know, it's gonna be a tough ride. You know,
I say when your
there's
time comes, your time comes.
yeah,
And
yeah,
accept
time's up.
and,
You got
and
these
go.
solo. There's a solo sail race. The Vandy Goss. It's a solo. You know, solo meaning one pilot on the boat, one person on the boat, and they sail from France. They circumnavigate around Antarctica, and they come back up. I think it's like 3,000 mile
Mhm.
journey by yourself, and you know you're dodging what do you call it, like icebergs and everything else, and you know you make it back up. So, anyways, those boats they can capsize. They're completely watertight. They even have hatches on the bottom, so if you capsize, you can, you know, the hatch that goes out the hull of the ship, that type of thing. But so
Mhm.
you can survive that type of rough water in a boat like that, you know. So
What do you say? What do you think? You survive in a ball, right?
yeah,
If you
yeah, yeah, yeah,
yeah, in a
ball,
ball, it doesn't
yeah.
matter if it's you just
But
strap
thing,
in.
the bottom is you'll
Strap
hey,
in.
you got to starve to death. That's why this ark was so big. You know what I mean? The ark was enormous. You know, it was like 400 feet this way, 30, 60 feet that way. You know, it was like whatever. But it's a pretty big boat. But
I think you probably
the other thing is
you
the other
dehydrate
thing.
before you
Uh,
starve to death. You
yeah.
dehydrate before you starve to death.
Oh
Like
yeah, you dehydrate. Yeah, yeah. If you don't have water, you know, it's
3 days you're done, right? 3, 4
it's gonna
days
be
you're,
tough. Now you go back to the Anunnaki, right? You go back to the Enlil Yankee. When the floods came, they went back up to the ship. They went back
yeah.
up, you know. So that's why you have Bezos and Musk and all these other people making these space stations up. They see people are privy to this stuff. I can't believe I'm the only dude on the planet that knows this. You know what I mean? So you see more and more of these people getting these space stations ready. You know, so that would be the safest place to go. You're gonna be in a space station. You can watch the whole, you know, show. You know,
Might not be too safe.
on your space station. Ride it out. You got your food up there. You know, you just chill out. Then you come back down with your little, you know, capsule and start over again. You know what I mean?
Maybe not.
First thing you put in the ground is Amazon. You know.
Maybe not, man. Because if we got geysers shooting
Taco Bell, yeah, I got a Taco Bell, McDonald's. Yeah, I mean, these are the people. These are the people that God wanted to take out with the flood, and here they are. They're going to be hiding out in a freaking space station. You know.
I think they might be looked up in a space station because if you got geysers shooting up, you know,
They could take out a space station. Yeah. Hey, good point.
Right?
Good point.
They'd be fucked,
Good
man.
point. Good point. They could get
numerous of them just shooting off.
They could get clobbered with ice freeze on the space station. They'll drop out of orbit. You know,
it could very well be. You know, it makes a lot of sense. You know,
anyway,
like the Earth depressurizing itself because when we look around the solar system right now, right, the entire solar system is warming up. Right, like the entire solar system is warming up, and with that warmth comes a lot of gas, and with that gas, you figure the Earth would, you know, expand from that gas. And it has to release that gas in one shape, waveform, or manner. And you know, it's this 6,000 year cycle that I'm kind of concerned about, right?
Right.
It's not good, right?
6,000 again. There's that number showing up, 6,000.
Yeah.
Then when you got what the number of the beast is 666. Well, the Earth has that stamp 666. Its orbital speed around the sun is 66,600 miles an hour. So if you're the Earth and you wipe out 99% of humanity or, you know, life on the planet, that very well gives you the title of the beast. You know what I mean? Ain't nobody can hold a candle to this, right? I mean, Hitler, Stalin, all those Pol Pot, all those nutbags, they can't even hold a candle to what the Earth is going to do. It's like George Carlin said, you know, the Earth ain't going anywhere. We are.
Yeah. I can think of one person that may survive. I can think of one person, John, that may be able to survive this. Yeah. And I bet you around him, the land would just stay dry. Chuck Norris. The Earth.
Oh, that's right.
Just go around. And just go around him, and they'd be Chuck Norris, just dry, like water going up all around.
Deputy sheriff be chopping the water in the ice block before they hit him.
Very interesting theory, and I'm looking forward to learning more about it. Now I can't wait till Friday to dig in and understand what you're talking about there, because it sure does make a lot of sense, and it's a little bit of sync too, right? Because not long ago, you know, just a few days ago, in fact, I was reading an article about this huge body of water underneath our mantle, and then you shot me a message and saying, "Hey, I'm releasing this book." I was like, "Oh wow, they're talking about sync or what?" And that's super cool. Yeah. I wonder what type of wildlife would be down there, the type of animals, because we have already animals at the bottom of the ocean. And then if there are vents that are, you know, obviously there would be vents going in through the mantle, there would be fish or animals would be able to.
Well, it might be, it might be the complex cellular structure of, a complex organism, you know, that do evolve into, you know, the life species that we have today, because there is something that replenishes life on the planet. It might just be that might be that, you know, just be that transition zone is where everything gets reduced down to the smallest form, you know, and then it comes back up again, and a little bit of sunlight, a little bit of warmth, and boom, you know, you get dolphins and you know, killer whales floating around again. So it kind of makes sense, you know, if you're going to design a planet, you need something to shut it down. Everything's got to have seasons, you know, your garden has a season, you know, spring, summer, fall and winter, spring, summer, and fall, however you want to put it. And the planet needs that. The planet's, you know, it's a rejuvenating planet. It's constantly rejuvenating itself, you know, so it shuts down, cools off, gets rid of the life, which is like, you know, we're infested. We're an infestation on the planet, you know. So I mean, you know, it's like, you know, if there's a hole to be dug, it's being dug. You know what I mean?
I just wondered to myself, and I've asked this question to myself numerous times, and I
Yeah.
just wonder if we are, we are an invasive species on this
Yeah.
planet. So,
Oh, yeah.
that clearly points to the idea that humans come from somewhere else, right? Like you can go walking around in a forest, and no
Yeah.
matter how careful you are, when
Yeah.
somebody else comes along, they'll know that you've been there. Human has been there, but through
Oh,
that
yeah.
very same spot, you can have like 500 bears run through there just an
Right.
hour earlier, and you would never know that there was
Yeah.
500 bears running through this area just an hour ago because of
Right.
the damage and our footprint that we leave behind, right? So it makes me wonder that maybe we're not in sync with this planet, and that perhaps we come from another world in which we are in sync with the environment to our, you
Yeah.
know, our extreme ability to consume things, right?
Right. Oh, yeah.
The
Oh,
gift
yeah.
our
Well,
species has been given,
well,
and maybe on our home planet things grow back really
yeah.
fast. Right, like
So,
what a tree would take 100 years to grow here, over there it takes a month, right? And then it's back, and you cut it
right.
down, build a house, and
Yeah.
boom,
Yeah.
it's back again, right? Because maybe
Back into it,
who
man.
knows, right? But
Yeah.
surely it seems that humans are definitely not in sync with the planet.
Right.
Now, if the
Right.
planet, right now, if the planet is conscious, like I believe it is, and it
Yeah.
feels that it has this, tick on its
Yeah.
back, right? And then its back is the surface, and if it has this
Yeah.
tick that keeps scraping away at it,
In my
mining
way.
it, digging
Yeah.
holes at it, so it's going to, because it's conscious and aware, it would do whatever it can to like shake it
Yeah.
off, right? Like a dog does
Right.
with fleas, right? I shake you off
Right.
my paws with my motherfucker,
Yeah.
or how does it goes? Uh, I shake you off my balls with my motherfucking paws, right? Snoop Dogg.
There you go.
Maybe that's what the Earth is doing, trying
Oh.
to shake us off her balls, and
Well, it's good. Yeah, it's going to shake us off. It's like, oh, just
right?
a bad case of fleas. See you later.
And perhaps that's why these extinction level events happen
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
it's almost like clockwork. I seen a study somewhere where there was this guy that was saying that extinction level events happen like every 14 million years, every 16
Right.
million years or something, like clockwork. And then they
Yeah.
went back, and they're like, it could be objects coming in from the Oort cloud, and then eventually that comes here, and then the Earth gets bombarded, and then everything
Right.
dies and comes back. That really makes me wonder, how does everything die and then come back, right? Like, if a
Yeah.
horse disappears, a horse is gone, a horse ain't coming back, right?
Yeah.
So how does that horse come back? So obviously the horse has survived some way, somehow.
Something. I think there's a percentage of species that survive on the planet, and
Yeah,
I think it's in the localized area of these pyramids that it's minimized. It's this
The tick
these
has
geysers
survived.
these geysers are minimized by
Mhm.
that technology, and so it's like it's all I don't know. It's a percentage ratio type of thing, an algorithm.
Mhm.
I mean, who knows? Maybe the seahorses grow into horses. You know what I mean? Well, we're talking about I'm talking about a 6,000-year cycle. So, it
And that's
might
the
not,
evolution.
might not. I don't think it covers the entire planet. I don't think it goes as high as the Himalayas. I think it's, from what I found with fossil records and everything. And fossils are very rare. Fossils are very, very, very rare. It's like 1 in a million that something dies on this planet and becomes a fossil that's actually found a million years later, or tens of thousands
Look
of
at
years
Joe
later.
Biden, a fossil
Yeah,
just walking around, right? 1 in a million, bro.
well, it's very rare. It's very rare, and the fossil records, like say in the Black Sea, there's that's in my book too. There's a fossil record there, and there was they dug down, of all places, off the coastline of Crimea, which is Ukraine is right now. So it's a hotbed there, and also there's pyramids up there in Ukraine, I think in Crimea. But long story short, there was the evidence that shows there was a flood about 150 feet above the Black Sea, right, and then people got wiped out. They got inundated, whatever. And all the ancient, homes and structures were all built 150 feet above sea level. So whatever happened, those people that rebuilt their homes, they took a good lesson at that flood, and they didn't go below 150 feet. Above sea level in the Black Sea. So I mean, that's in my book. So there is a lot of evidence of people surviving. I don't think the pyramids actually get don't get submerged. They might get water lapping up against the base of them. I mean, when I say the pyramids, the Great Pyramids of Giza, those pyramids, that grotto was actually 140 feet above sea level. The grotto that the three pyramids that sit on today. So you're talking about that seems to be the 150 feet, 140 feet of sea level rise, and and it could be like the Bible says 7 days or 40 days, whatever. But it's a combination of geysers, hail, freezing cold weather, unbelievable windstorms, things of that nature. We're talking real. You'll be begging for fire and brimstone. You'll be begging for fire and brimstone.
I mean, if you get enough, if you get enough fire, or not fire, but if you get enough ice that builds up on one side of the planet, like say on the North Pole or whatever, and you get this huge amount of ice, that could really cause the Earth to just topple over.
Yeah, you get the wobble. Yeah, you can mess up your rotational spin. You got wobbles, all sorts of things. But this planet does have a gravity has a self-balancing mechanism in it, and redistributes things accordingly. You get the jet streams, you get the Gulf streams. You have warm Gulf streams. So if you happen to be in a warm Gulf stream in the ocean, and there's islands or whatever, you could, if you're lucky enough to land in those places, you could, ride it out and survive, and then come back down again. I mean, that's like the Bach Saga. They said they got trapped up there, and they were able to, survive because there was a high, there's still thermal activity, magma thermal activity in the oceans and things of that nature. So there's still heat. But for the most part, a big flood like that in a matter of, days or months, it's definitely going to take its toll on everything, land, animals. But he didn't, God, I believe it was Genesis said he wouldn't kill all the people next time, with flood. But the key word is all. Because you run around, people misinterpret this. They go, he said he wouldn't kill us by flood. No, he said he wouldn't kill all of us with flood. Now, go full circle with Enki and Enlil, right? They get off the boat, they get up on the ship with the flood come, and then Enki was the one that seeded humanity, the modern human of today, right? To do some mining in Africa because the last hybrids they made were complaining. They wanted unions. They wanted weekends off, health benefits and shit like that. And Enlil was just losing his shit, right? So he wanted to wipe out everybody and come back. Well, Enki, he laid down with man's, woman, and he fell in love with his creation because he was one of the chief geneticists. I believe it was a woman. That was with
Murdoch. I think Murdoch was the
chief geneticist
scientist, and then Enki and Enlil were the brothers, right?
Enki and Enlil were brothers. But go full circle after the flood. Enlil, they bring this ship back into lower orbit, and Enlil could smell like food being cooked. He's like, how can that be, right? And he got pissed at Enki because Enki gave Zuasidra, who's the biblical Noah, right? Enki gave him the technology to survive the flood. So he gave him something, the boat, the ship, go someplace, whatever, and survive it. And that's when the brothers really had a falling out. We'll put it that way. because he didn't want to have anybody on the planet, and Enki fell. He was an emotional character, and So, anyways, yeah, I mean, it's good and evil. There's the two brothers. It's always the two brothers. One kills one, and wants to take over this, that, the other thing. So, but anyways, he could smell them cooking food, and he was hungry because he was stuck up in a space station for 6 months or whatever. And then he came down, and they broke bread with the humanity that survived the flood, and I guess here we are today. So as the story goes, so it's pretty good stories, but it kind of makes sense. It removes the Disney World thing, But what one of the key words or key phrases in the clay tablets, Sumerian clay tablets, when what is it? I always get these guys mixed up. And Enki was telling Suasidra was collect live animals.
Mm-hmm.
When you go on a boat, you need live animals. So that's where the live animals came from. The Hebrew scholars, 2x2 and all the other, things of that nature. So goats, pigs, chickens, things of that nature, because they'll survive. You got to give them grain and things like that. But they'll you can eke out 3 months or 4 months on a boat, or even if you get to an island, you can survive. So anyways, so that's it. So that's kind of the way it goes. But a lot of the clay tablets that talk about this flood, their flood, 39 lines have been scratched, erased right out of the tablets that describe what I'm talking about. That talk about the things that go on the planet. And obviously, it was, I don't know if somebody scratched it out because they don't want to tell you end times. They don't want you surviving. They want to take it down to 1% and then start over again. See that now? Here's Gate and Fauci running around with the hypodermic needles, whacking everybody. They don't even have to do that. You get the friggin' floods coming like next week. You know what I mean? Just kidding.
All we need to do is
but in their minds, they got a depop. It's like the planet's already got depop already, what do you call it? Uploaded into its operating system.
It's already happening. Check out Japan, right? Japan for the first time has less people born than died, right? I think it's like minus 250.
I mean, maybe Gates and Fauci and the other jab artists are, I don't even know if we can talk about this stuff.
Yeah, no, don't talk about it. YouTube's already out there.
You're off. Here comes the big hook.
Oh.
You gotta delete you gotta delete my microphone, man. You just hit the pause. Oh shit. And
Okay, I don't think we crossed the lines just quite yet, but cool, my brother. We're at an hour, and I'm very fascinated and interested in first of all reading your book, because I've got your other one right here.
The new one coming out.
This one. Guys, check out this one, John's book. We've done a lot of talks on this book actually.
It's on Amazon.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. You guys can check
the Moon Book's on. The Moon Book's on Kindle on Amazon. There is something about the moon,
Put it on full screen.
But this next book will be great. I think there's a link somewhere.
Yeah, there you go. This is co-authored with Wendy Salter. Excellent book, guys. You should check it out. Right? Look, I got it signed copy, right? And images and stuff in here. It's like really, really great book, nicely put together. I'd recommend checking it out. And of course, this one right here, Pyramid Gravity Force. John likes his images.
There's this one on Amazon right now. This is the new one. It hit number one on the in education and what do you call it? Research. So that's there. Try to get the light out of it, but
the link to
pyramids.
links to these guys are in the description of this video on all of John's information, his YouTube channel,
Yeah.
Amazon.
We got a
his links.
YouTube channel.
Yeah, we
YouTube
just
channel.
shared that link. I
Yep.
think Sugar Bee shared
Put that up. Thank
right
you,
there.
Sugar Bee. Yep.
Right on. Thank you. And welcome, moderators. It's nice
Yeah.
to let's build a team over here. And again, guys, coming up this Friday weekend, right? The Veterans Day, I believe, is called in the United States, and called what's it called up here in Canada? Oh yeah, the Remembrance Day. That's what it's called, the Remembrance Day up here in Canada. And we got ourselves a nice event set up for Friday, November 11th, 12th, and 13th. That's going to be happening from 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time to 7 p.m. For East Coast, it's going to start at 1 p.m. in the afternoon and going to go on till 10 p.m. We're streaming this right here on Watchers Talk Network, as well as Full Spectrum Universe and our channel Watchers Talk on Odyssey. We've added one more person to this list. Her name is Amy Bader. Unfortunately, our buddy Matthew Mornan is not going to be able to do a presentation because he has a class set up at that time. But he will be one of the MCs, and he'll be here with us throughout the entire weekend, helping MC and carry the conversation forward and help enlighten people. But I filled Matthew's spot with Amy Bader, and so looking forward to hearing her presentation. Just had a really wonderful talk with her a couple days ago. And on Tuesday, I believe 6 p.m. or 2 p.m. I believe it is, Amy's going to be here on the channel, and we are going to have a one-on-one talk so that you guys can meet her and learn a little bit about her and check it out. And because she's going to be presenting come on Sunday. So I want you guys to feel comfortable with the information that she's giving so that you guys know who she is and things like that, right? So we're going to start off with Patricia Corey, Dylan Hunt, Constance Victoria Briggs, Rodney McGilvery, and then our brother from another mother, John Shaughnessy. And then the following day, we're going to do Frank Jacob, Brad Olson, Michael Feely, Paul Wallace, and then Salrita Antaria. And then on the closing day, we will have Bebu Dev Misra, Eric Hecker, Amy Bader, Stephen and Evan Strong, and Agi Nost. And this will be emceed by our sister, Leanne Curtis, our brother, Greg Bornstein, our brother from another mother, Rob Yox from Full Spectrum Universe, and Matthew Morning. This will be the MCs looking after us and everyone over this weekend coming up. This is free to attend and no charge. And, of course, if you guys can afford it and if you are up to it, tips and gratuities never hurt, because those will be, really shared amongst the speakers and the MCs if we raise enough, right? But if not, then we'll see what we can do with the money that comes in. But I appreciate you guys. And, I appreciate you, John, for coming on, enlightening us on this apocalyptic vision that you have.
It'll all make sense on Friday. I'll bring it full circle. I'd love to just do it all now, but it'd be ripping off everybody for the weekend. You know what I mean? So,
I appreciate that, homie. I really do. I totally appreciate it. All right, guys. So that's it for me. And John, any final words for our audience before I let you go?
No, I appreciate everybody tuning in. All the comments, suggestions. It's always good to have more people. More people, the better, man. It's the human consciousness that's gonna help us survive the next cataclysm. Really, I mean, you got a lot of people talking about cataclysms, not just me. It's like everybody's. Well, which one is it? Are we gonna burn, drown? Get crushed? The nuclear bomb. Pick a cataclysm. You can't have them all. You can only have one. So.
Green Soylent, my man. Green Soylent. It's all I can say.
It's all a divine design. There's no such thing as death. Like the what's his name there, John Lennon. You just, death is just getting out of one car and opening the door and hopping in another one. Hopefully it's a
That's all it
5-speed
is.
takes you up with the V8 under the hood. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's all it is, man. I decided to come with an Aston Martin this time around, so a little bit of accessories, but not too many. But I'm happy with it. All right, guys, that's it for us, and the links are in the comments, or links are in the description of this video. And John's book, guys, it's like $5, $4.85, like literally $5 for the book. Give it support. Yeah, like give it support. It's like one Starbucks in the morning. Like really, give it your support, and head on over to Amazon and leave a 5-star review, because that really helps with the algorithm and the ratings and such as well. And leave a nice review with 5 stars, and hopefully Amazon pushes that out. Amazon pushes that out, and then we get kind of at the same level as Eric von Daniken's millions of books, because really that's what we need to do, is we need to set a trend like that, where our speakers are selling their books. And so, because if they're selling books, and then they have more time and doing more research and bringing us more enlightenment, and $5 is a really fair price compared to like 60, 70, 80 bucks that some people want. But they're beautiful books, and if that's what they feel the book is what they want for it, then hey, that's their call. But to me, it just seems like John's has given this away for $5.
I'm not getting any money. It's all going to Amazon and the print company. I'm not taking a penny. So
there you go, guys. Maybe even just leave a tip.
Yeah, right. Like you can use the book to stay warm when the flood comes. You can use it for kindling.
Right on, guys. I love you guys very much. Thank you, everyone, for being here and supporting this channel. Please give it a subscribe and give this video a like and share it with friends and family. I will see you guys on Tuesday with Amy Bader, and then hopefully we can be back on our regular channel here pretty soon. And until then, my name is Omar, coming at you guys from the west coast of Turtle Island, designated British Columbia by the illegal doctrine of discovery. I love you guys. Don't forget to say I love you to yourself, because you know what that does to water. I don't need to repeat myself, but you guys know it. Just say that every day to yourselves, and your body avatars will just heal themselves. And until next time, my fellow projections, I love you all.
We've been fighting a long time, and we have all lost so very much, so many loved ones gone. But you are not alone. There are pockets of resistance all around the planet. We are at the brink.